the shots. Come show me what you
Welcome
got.
to New Orleans.
Hey guys, welcome to my SOFHAB review series. Today I'm covering the latest season of Netflix's Queer Eye, Season 7, and joining me once again is Rascal Entertainment.
Hey there, I'm on here every time now.
I've done some by myself, but it's more fun with you. Well, this season, Season 7, the Fab Five head to New Orleans to help 8 new people improve their lives and give them the most fabulous makeovers ever. But
Before we start, be sure to like, subscribe for notifications on future podcasts and reviews and hacks and other things.
yes, and thank you for joining us for this review. Now, if you tuned in last year, we covered together on my channel Queer Eye, We're in Japan, which was a lot of fun, amazing, fantastic series. And we're both regular watchers of the Queer Eye series on Netflix. We didn't think there was going to be a Season 7. We thought Season 6 was going to be it because so many of the Fab Five have their own shows.
Yes.
And we were stunned when I got an email saying Queer Eye Season 7 is coming out. And excited!
Yes, really surprised there. About, I think, 4 out of 5 of them have shows. 3 of them are on Netflix, and 1 of them being on regular cable. And it had been quite a while because Season 6 actually took longer to make because the pandemic starting right when they were filming, so it took longer to film Season 6, and I guess they went on a short hiatus for Season 7, and they did their own things while the events and rules are still in place. But now a lot of the restrictions have been lifted and the events have been declared over. Now they're back to business and just having fun and helping people and no restrictions whatsoever.
Absolutely. Well, those of you who aren't familiar with it, Queer Eye is an American reality TV series initially released back in 2018 on Netflix exclusively, and it's based on the show that appeared originally back in 2003 called Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. And this version is created by one of the original creators for the first series, David Collins. And it stars R55, Anthony Porowski, Tan France, Caramel Brown, Bobby Burke, and Jonathan Van Ness. We love Jonathan.
Yes.
And it is absolutely fun and something you should really watch. There's so many uplifting stories that happen when the Fab Five goes to the different areas of the United States and Japan.
You're
as
right.
of now. Hopefully they'll go somewhere else.
Yes.
We
that'd be
know
fun.
that they've aired a Queer Eye Germany, and currently they're airing Queer Eye Brazil, which we are watching and love as well, so you'll get a review on that as well.
Right.
But if you love reality shows that have positivity, are uplifting, that show people helping other people, helping to make their lives better, then this is the show for you to watch.
Yes. And it looks like right now they're going for a certain theme of staying in one city for their clients. Because seasons 1 through 5 have been like different parts of the country, different states. Then the last season they were all in Austin, Texas specifically. And then after the hiatus, now they're in specifically New Orleans.
Right.
So that actually is a pretty neat thing they're doing, where it's a certain theme now each season, not just in who they're helping, but where they're helping them.
And it's wonderful to see them travel and interact with people in different places. New Orleans was a lot of fun. This season there are 7 episodes, so the number's gone down a little.
Yeah.
And the first episode was interesting because it was Queer Eye for the Lamba Chai, and they helped a fraternity that just all the guys needed help. They're really young. They kind of like Mordecai and Vicky.
Yeah, and they were not liking that, so you need to look more professional and more put together and things, and they ended up being like totally different people by the end, which was a kind of a surprise in how far they're like, no, we don't want any more Mordecai and Rigby in you. It was like, okay.
They really turned out to be a really sweet group of guys, and they got to share a caramel and to actually not only strengthen the bond between them, but also with other people in the area who were kind of like not thinking they were gonna do much of anything because of how they look. So that was a good episode. Then we also had superfan Steph, who's a big fan of the New Orleans Saints.
Yes, and her room is in the beginning nothing but sports memorabilia for the team and autographed balls and helmets, t-shirts, photos of going to every game and things, and that was pretty fun. It was sort of like the equivalent when you're a comic book fan, you have every collection.
It was like
of stuff.
Deku in real life.
Right. And I was kind of really happy that the one thing they did is that they sorted the stuff for us so it's neat. It looks like a trophy room when they redesigned everything. They didn't tell her to just sell everything and use the money for other stuff because they've done that for the ones who own comics and manga. They tell them to sell it because it's not available. Right. So I'm really glad that they just didn't tell, I'll sell it, use the money for something important. I'm really glad they didn't do that.
And then by the end, they had shown her how to still be dressed relaxed, but as you mentioned, look more professional. She got her hair color changed. She proposed to her partner, I think of 7 years.
I think so,
longer.
yeah.
So that was a really nice ending. Then we had Speedy for Life, which was covering a teenager who unfortunately became disabled due to a vehicle accident.
Yes.
He lost his mom and sister and an aunt. And so they wanted to help him to get back to living and to deal with the emotions and the aftermath of what happened to him.
Right. That was the most serious one out of the entire set.
Right. Then we had Jenny Seckles' Diary. And also Deli Dan is a Dream Man. Now that one was really, really interesting because Deli Dan was really relaxed and Deli Dan was very wealthy, but Deli Dan stayed at work and didn't really do much of anything else. And he is dating, I should say. His current girlfriend, I think it was 2 years, and she has 2 daughters. And what's really sweet is the daughters actually love him and love that their mom is with him. But he wasn't getting an idea or the cues that he needed to spend more time with her and not be at work 24/7 and not live at the deli. He has this beautiful, absolutely beautiful home, and it was like he still hadn't unpacked after 2 years because he was just staying at the office. Right.
It was like barely anything in there. Like, you got this stuff in these boxes. It looks kind of empty. It looks nice. It wasn't sloppy or anything. It's just like, it needs to look like it's been lived in, but not in a sloppy way.
But it was beautifully done when they finished. He was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know it looked like this. I could have been staying here instead of at the deli. And the daughters and his partner came and they got to see how great he looked. They gave him a haircut and shaved off the facial hair, and he had on these nice clothes, and he had talked to Caramel, so he was able to tell her he understood what she had been attempting to tell him, and he was very grateful for her being patient and loving him. So it was a really nice episode.
Right.
Then we have Miss Mary White Contrary.
And I believe that's the one with the woman that owned a thrift store, right? And she had been released from prison after 12 years. She was wrongfully in prison and she got released. At the time, it was maybe 1 year ago at the time of the filming, and she had a thrift store and it was filled with pretty much anything. It's like Goodwill on steroids and lots of color, and that was her dream to open up one of those. And she was still sort of recovering from being in the prison for so long, but she said she's out but her mind is still there, so a lot of her life was still based as if she was still there.
And it made me think of the Shawshank Redemption, if you've seen that. And they were talking about people who were there for a long time being institutionalized. And we were seeing a real life example of that.
Right.
But they did a great job in helping her to find her style because it was all over the place. Because she said, I just want to have things. Because she, for 12 years, hadn't had anything. So she wanted to have things. And also, she had 7 children whom she wasn't able to see for 12 years. And she felt that they didn't really want to deal with her because of the time she spent there. So she was not seeing them. She was staying away from them. And there were 4 of them that actually really wanted to have a relationship with her. So it was really sweet. They flew them there to see her because they lived in other parts of the country. And they flew them there to see her and interact with her. She got to see her grandchildren, 1 great-grandchild. And so happy that she's going to have a different life now and a different mindset. And the final one is Sowing the Seeds,
which was about a guy who wanted to start his own agricultural business, but needed help getting it off the ground. He also wanted to get his degree and finish college, I believe. And they were helping him look more professional because he usually wore the same thing. Right, hippie look all the time. And they wouldn't take him seriously if he showed up wanting a business deal like that. So they gave him advice, they gave him groups to go to help him get things together and help his business take off, since he's really friendly with other people in his neighborhood.
And then they actually threw for him a fundraising party where he dressed, and Anthony helped make the food, and then he was able to get donations from people toward that business. So it was a nice way to end the series.
And he actually appeared in one of these Allegra commercials. If you've seen it and you've seen the show, you'll find him.
So this was really a very nice season, very laid back, and I think that was a different feel from some of the other seasons. As you said, when they get to visit different parts of the country, you have different frequencies and different people and different attitudes. And here, because it's New Orleans, it was just really laid back. The people were laid back, and you just got to see them help and just love a bunch of people and help them to improve their lives.
Right.
So if you have seen Queer Eye season 7, let us know in the comments below. Did you love it as much as we do? Are you looking forward to season 8 and hoping for season 8 like we are?
Right.
And if you haven't, Queer Eye is exclusively available on Netflix. There are 7 seasons that we mentioned, plus the Queer Eye. We're in Japan. I think you should watch that first if you've never seen it, and then go to the regular series. Trust us, you'll really love this series. You're going to love the Fam 5. You're going to have a favorite or favorites. We love them all, but Jonathan is our absolute favorite.
Yes. And if you haven't already, be sure to like, subscribe, and click notification buttons on upcoming more reviews, mashups, hacks, and messages.
And I love to talk about people and organizations that help others to be better and to live optimally, and to just see the beauty in themselves that they can't see, and to live a life more full of joy.
Right.
So that's another reason we love this series. So thank you for watching.
I'm Rascal Entertainment.
I'm Julie.
Have a fantastic day.
And continue to stay happy, healthy, and whole. See you next time.
No one has ever made me cry like this on this TV show before.